Good morning, guys. Happy Coffee Talk. It's Friday. First off, it's beautiful outside. And today is episode 500. Episode 500 of Coffee Talk. So it was really funny. Yesterday, I go into the Facebook group, in the FitMe community Facebook group, which you should be in, by the way. And I was like, hey, tomorrow's episode 500. What should we do to celebrate? And I thought everybody's going to do a giveaway, like free something, free kitchen appliance, free coaching, a lot of people some people did say free coffee, but what was decided on was 500 burpees, which is funny because of course we picked that. And so I'm going to do 100 and you guys do the rest. So 400 is to be split between the people who appreciate this podcast. You don't have to do it, but if you want to, do some burpees and tag me. Whatever your contribution is, 5, 10, 25, 50. If you want to do 100 with me, do them. We'll hit up 500 for sure. I think we're already close to 100 this morning. I haven't done mine yet. But I need your help. So anyways, that's what we decided on, which I think is hilarious. Coffee this morning is in my Polish pottery mug from FitMe Give Back coordinator, Nikki Miller. She gave me this as a gift last year at the FitMe event, and I love it. So I am drinking Black Rifle coffee, which is fitting on episode 500 of Coffee Talk because I probably drank Black Rifle coffee 400 of the episodes. And I probably used this mug, to be honest. Like, I don't know, a lot of the episodes. Funny, some of those things are just routine. And I want to take a second just to breathe in the number 500. Because by itself, it doesn't mean anything. And this is kind of our message for Coffee Talk this morning anyway. So think about it this way. 500 doesn't mean anything. Is 500 good? I don't know. 500 out of, if your other score was 4, then now you're at a 500. I guess that's good. But what if your score was like 500,000? Then 500 is like nothing. So we can't measure it off of that. So what does 500 mean? And I thought that that's what I would share with you because the 500th episode of Coffee Talk is special because of how much I enjoy talking to you. But it's also special because those are the reps. So I want to be fully 1,000% honest. I started Coffee Talk about a year and a half, 2 years ago maybe. I think it was probably closer to 2 years ago for 2 reasons. One, I wanted to show up live in our Facebook community regularly, like every day. And I knew that if I just gave myself, you can show up when, sometimes and do a live, I would do it never. And so just like I always tell you guys, sometimes we have to create something as a part of our routine that's a non-negotiable. And so I started Coffee Talk, one, because I knew I wanted to show up live in our community. And so Coffee Talk started as just a Facebook Live. But I did Coffee Talk for a second reason, which was at the time I had just spent a year writing what was the Fit Me Pregnancy Journal. I had written it almost every day. I'd sent it out over email. It was this really, special way to connect over email. And I had done a lot of writing. But my video and speaking skills were just average in my mind, or maybe below average. I felt like when I would go to record something that I would stutter. I had a really hard time. I needed a teleprompter if I really wanted to remember what I wanted to say. It just wasn't a strong skill set. And so starting Coffee Talk had 2 purposes. 1, to show up live in the community every day. And 2, to do the reps to become a better short form speaker. And yes, I love coffee. Yes, I love coffee mugs. And yes, I love sharing the motivation with you. But full transparency, that's why it started. I wanted to be present live in our Facebook group in a way that I could commit to. And I knew that if I did the reps and I was talking with you every day, I would get better at speaking. And so 500 to me is full of memories. It's full of conversations. It's full of like special episodes that I remember. That's great. But 500 to me represents something else. It represents a commitment to something that I want. I wanted to connect with you in a consistent way. And so 500 represents a follow through on that commitment to connection. I wanted to become a better short form speaker. 500 represents the commitment I made to achieving that goal. 500 is something that nobody can take away from me. I don't care if somebody's podcast has 7 million downloads. I don't care if somebody's podcast is on episode 500,000. I don't care. It's irrelevant to me because the purpose for this consistency had nothing to do with that. It had everything to do with you, connecting with you and listening and talking to you. And it had everything to do with me and showing up and becoming a better me. And so episode 500 represents doing this over and over and over and over and over again, regardless of who was listening, who was watching, who said that they liked it. Some days I recorded Coffee Talk and I don't know that anybody even heard it. Some days I recorded Coffee Talk and thought to myself, that was a stupid episode. Why did that come out of your brain? Some days I recorded Coffee Talk and it felt like chaos. My dogs were crazy. The baby was crying in the background. Who knows, Some days I recorded Coffee Talk and it felt like I hit a home run. And some days I felt like Coffee Talk and it felt like showing up and doing the work. That's what it feels like when you accumulate 500 reps of something. And so 500 reps later, am I a stronger speaker? Yes. I'm not saying that to blow smoke up my own butt. I am positive I'm a stronger speaker because I test it all the time. And so that feels really good. I feel very comfortable and confident speaking in 10 to 15 minute chunks because I practiced 500 times. I practiced and connecting with you, thinking about the things that matter in your life and how it shows up in my life and how we can be connected through the, thought. That is something that I'm better at now. It's something I can more confidently do. It's funny, even on episode 500, you can hear a bunch of crap in the background. It's the coffee pot. And so 500 reps of consistency has nothing to do with anyone else. It has everything to do with me and you. It has everything to do with the intention for which I started this process. I learned a lot along the way. Did you know that when Coffee Talk started, I did not have a microphone? I did not have a decent camera. I simply used my phone and recorded it. And I think I did that for at least 150 episodes. I didn't need the right equipment to get started. I didn't need the perfect setup. It was just start. When Coffee Talk first started, it wasn't a podcast. The first couple of days, it was just a Facebook Live. Then it was a Facebook Live that I would save after the fact and turn into a podcast. But the quality would kind of downgrade. But I just kept doing it. I kept doing it over and over again. It was only, midway through that I decided to try to get a microphone. And the first one wasn't very good. The first microphone didn't work very well. And so then eventually I got one that did. And I started using a camera rather than my phone. Maybe on episode 400 is when I switched to that decent camera. All of the reps prior to that had nothing to do with having the perfect equipment or the perfect time, and everything to do with just showing up and doing it. Because you see, the 500 episodes are not about having the perfect setup. In fact, it was almost the opposite. I did repetitions where the perfect setup wasn't available. I packed my microphone on trips. I've done Coffee Talk in Maryland, in Hawaii, in Arizona, in Virginia, in Florida. I've done Coffee Talk all over the country because I took it with me. because the commitment to doing it meant that I was going to do it in some form everywhere I go. It had nothing to do with doing it perfect. There were so many times early on that it felt silly to do it at all because it was so far from perfect. But that's how you get better. And if you haven't felt what I'm saying to you on this episode, what I'm saying to you is that consistency, showing up over and over and over again and doing the work, is something that is untouchable. You do not need the perfect equipment. You do not need the perfect workout shoes or the perfect workout clothes or the perfect time class to finally start moving your body. You don't. You don't need to have the perfect schedule set up or a understanding of everything you need to know about macros and vegetables in order to start eating healthy. You don't. You just have to get started. Because then you can take eating healthy and you can take moving your body and you can take treating yourself better, and you can do it over and over and over and over again. On travel, at home, on days that are awesome, on days that are not, on days that feel great, on days that don't. Some days people will care. Most of the time they won't. And you could just do your own 500 reps. Imagine what that would look like if you did 500 reps of taking better care of yourself. For what purpose? You can be honest too. It doesn't have to be, I want to take better care of myself for everybody else in my life. That could be a part of it, but it could also just be for you. You could say, I want to do 500 reps because I need to feel better in my skin. My clothes don't fit. I need to take better care of myself. I need to do 500 reps because I need to show myself that I can do it. I need to get out of the all or nothing mindset and force myself to take action and prove it to myself that I can. Maybe that's why you need to do 500 reps. 500 reps is uncommon. And that's why we're celebrating today on Coffee Talk. Because you listen already because you want to do things that push yourself outside of your comfort zone. You want to feel better. You want to be better. And we're doing that together. And I'm doing, in this moment, doing 500 episodes, sticking by my word, is showing up with you. It'd be nice for me to be like, be consistent, and then me not do it. Nope. I'm doing it too. I'm doing it too, and I'm doing it with you. And so if you feel uncomfortable, great. So do I half the time. If you feel like nobody cares, it's fine. Me too sometimes. We just keep doing it. If you feel like it's not perfect, I got you. That's not required. We're doing it together. And so episode 500 isn't just about consistency. It isn't just about doing the work. It is about those things. It is about that. But it's also about follow through. Despite imperfections, despite other people's feedback, despite immediate measurable outcomes. It's consistency despite all of those things, because consistency in this means that I can be consistent in something else. 500 now because something that I've done and I will do again. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's another 500 episodes. Or maybe I take this and then I turn it into 500 of something else. Something else that makes me better. Something else that makes you better. Something else that creates a better connection for us. Because I'm confident I can do it. And that's what I want for you. I want you to choose something that you would be willing to do 500 reps of that makes you better. And I want you to message it to me. If you've listened to all these Coffee Talk episodes and have never sent me a message, today is the day. Send me a message and tell me what you are going to do 500 reps of. Today we'll do 500 burpees, and it's perfect. It's a perfect representation of what I'm talking about. 500. We can do that, but then we can do so much more together. And so I want you to message me and tell me what it is that you are going to do 500 reps of to become better. What is it? Send me a message. And again, doesn't have to be any commitment to perfection, to the perfect time, to knowing how to do it. But let's just do it together. Let's be uncommon together. Let's be better together and more connected. So thank you so much for listening to episode 500 of FitMe Coffee Talk. There are more episodes to come. Don't worry. Coffee Talk is not stopping. It is just getting started. But please use this episode as my challenge to you to take this on in your own life and do it. So thank you so much, as always, for plugging into FitMe Coffee Talk. It means so much to me to share this time with you in the morning. If you haven't done so, subscribe to FitMe Coffee Talk on your favorite podcast platform. And if you have already subscribed and you like Coffee Talk, share it with somebody who you think would like it. I don't have any sponsors or anything for this podcast. So the only way that people find out about it is if you tell them. And last, if you want to get started in the FitMe community, if you want to have some support from us, the place that you need to go is fitmecommunity.com. That's our website. And on the top, there's a bar and it says apply for coaching. Click that and fill that application out so we can have a conversation. If you need support so that you can thrive, that is what we do. We will help you make these changes because nobody wants to make some of these changes on their own. When you can have help, why would you? So fill that out and then we can have a conversation. So I look forward to talking to you guys soon. Thanks again for listening and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.